In today's video, I'm going to show you how to overcome any sales objection at all, as long as you follow the concept taught in today's video. Also, don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button, because every time you smash that like button, an angel gets its wings.
Hi, I'm Dan Henry. I used to deliver pizza and sell water bottles to pay my rent. Then I discovered entrepreneurship and grew a $20 million online business. Subscribe to my channel and I'll show you how.
Hey everybody, Dan Henry here, founder of GetClients.com, and for that matter, a bunch of other companies. But let's stick to the subject today, because we're talking about sales, and that's what I help people with at GetClients.com. So, in order to overcome any sales objection, you must understand one concept, one core concept, and that is to listen to what is behind your prospect's words, not what their words say. So let me illustrate. You're on a sales call, and this is you, okay? And you've got your little tie, which that's a terrible tie there. Perhaps, you had a bad dry cleaner and it just got all messed up. But anyway, here you are, and you're on the phone, right? Here's the phone in your ear. Now, over here is your customer, okay? So here's your customer, right? And your customer is speaking to you. Boom, 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 boom. That's them speaking to you. Now, behind what this customer is saying is a brain, all right? And the brain, it's a terrible brain. The brain is what they're thinking. They're thinking something, they're saying something, and you're hearing something. Now, regardless of what they say, very, very few times will they say what they're thinking. Not say what they mean, but say what they're thinking. Let me give you an example. Let's say somebody says, well, what is the difference between you and one of your competitors? I already signed up for one of your competitors' products or services, and I wasn't happy, so why are you any different? They're not actually asking, why are you any different? That's what they are saying. So they're saying, why are you different? Right? That's what they're saying. They're saying, why are you different? But what's happening here in their brain is they had a very specific instance or a very specific thing that they were unhappy with their old product or service. That thing is what they're thinking of right now when they're considering you. And if that specific thing was not a problem, they would probably buy. So let me give you an example of a recent sales call that I had that this particular situation fleshed itself out. So somebody said to me, okay, well, I joined a mastermind before and I wasn't happy with it. How is your mastermind any different? Now, I could have went and said, oh, let me attack what they're saying and let me say, it's different because of this, it's different because of that, I'm better because of this, I'm better because of that. But the chances of me actually randomly landing on the actual thing they're thinking is very low. And this is a $55,000 investment they were considering, and so I gotta make sure I do this properly. Instead of me saying, well, here's all the reasons why I'm different, what I said was, well, can you give me an example of something you didn't like about your last mastermind? What didn't you like about it? So instead of me answering their question, I dig further and I ask for clarification. I just say, listen, if you tell me what you didn't like about it, I'll tell you if that's an issue with our mastermind. I'll tell you if that's something that we do or don't do. And that way we can just be honest and I'll let you know. So they say to me, well, I joined this mastermind and the calls would happen and I'd want to ask my question to the guy. And when I asked my question to the guy, there was no time left. And so I didn't get to actually ask my question because time ran out and I had to wait till next week. And then if I didn't get there early, then I had to wait until next week because there were too many people on the call, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so what I said was, well, thank you for telling me that. Just so you know, we've never ever had a call ever in the history of our program where somebody didn't get their question answered, ever. I always stay on and answer every question that's asked. And if the calls get too busy where we can't do that or they're extending too long, I just create a second call for a while until that dies down and that doesn't happen anymore. And then we go back to one call. And I've had to do that only once in the history of our mastermind, and that was a day where we sold 34 people into it at once during an event, and we, the calls were just a bit busy for a while, so for the next month or two, I believe it was, we just had 2 calls per week so that everybody got their questions answered, and it was done, and then it died down because everybody was moving further up in their business and they didn't need help all the time, and so the amount of questions went down on the call and we went back to one call. But I promise you that will never happen. You will always get your question answered on the call. And he said, oh. And I said, so let me ask you, if you knew that if you joined this mastermind, you would never have a situation where you wouldn't get your question answered if you came on the call, do you think that that would get you a lot more results and help you a lot more in your business than the last mastermind you were in? And they said, yes. And so I just ran through that, maybe 2 or 3 things that they didn't like by asking for clarification, and they said, okay, let's do it. So what made this work? What made this work was, instead of me listing out a bunch of things that I'm guessing that they care about, that they don't care about because I'm responding to what they say, I'm instead asking for clarification so I know what they're thinking. So I can just respond once with the exact thing that they're thinking, and then they can buy. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is honestly how you overcome any sales objection. Because most sales objections aren't the actual objection. Actual objection is in the back of their head that they're thinking. So you have to dig. You have to ask for clarification on what their problem actually is. They're very rarely going to tell you that up front. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget, smash that like button, because as I said, every time you do, an angel gets its wings, and if we don't have angels with wings, then they'll just be falling out of the sky and we'll be cleaning up angels everywhere. It'll be freaking angels just laying all over the place because they don't have any wings, they can't fly. So make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. And if you enjoyed this video and it helped you with sales, you can go to getclients.com. We have a ton of information there, free information, podcast, blog posts, a free training on how to grow your business, whether you are an online course creator, you have a mastermind, you own a software, you have a service, you're an accountant, or you have an agency. We can help you grow your business, sell more, and all that jazz. So I will see you in the next one. Subscribe, and don't forget, angel wings.